Okay, so I decided to do the group reading that I was talking about on Twitter for the people who feel like they've been waiting a very long time to be united with their like forever soulmate. And maybe you've seen like a lot of signs that have been pointing you in that direction. Maybe you've met a lot of people that have activated you, and maybe you're surrounded by a lot of people or like your own friends who are with their soulmates and they've been with them for a long time, and you know that it's like a very high spiritual connection they have, but then you're just like here and you're like, why hasn't it happened to me? So this reading is obviously directed towards me as well because I'm in that phase. So anything that comes through will be directed towards the group. Like some of it will be directed towards me, and anything, just take whatever resonates and leave what doesn't. And the way I'm going to be doing this reading is my strongest psychic abilities are what you can call the solar abilities, so clairvoyance and clairaudience, but I also use claircognizance and clairsentience, so I pretty much use all of it, but the strongest is definitely audience and clairvoyance, so that's the type of information that will probably come through the most. And this will probably be more for women, but if you're a guy who's also knows you're kind of destined for a soulmate relationship, like you can definitely use this advice as well. So this is just kind of going into what's blocking us energetically from uniting with our soulmate, and kind of the things that we can do to bring it into our reality, because it's just been too long. Okay. And there might be some pauses, but that's just me writing things down, because sometimes things come in too quickly and I just have to write them down. So okay, so what is blocking us from uniting with our soulmates? Okay, I immediately heard time, so obviously it is a time thing. Obviously we're stuck in time, so that's something we will have to consider. I see a bird. So I see someone, like a woman, in a, like kind of in like a pond. It honestly kind of reminds me of that picture, like that picture of, I forget her name, but it's like a Shakespeare character kind of laying in water. She's sitting like in the water, like in her clothes, and she's like crying. So I mean, this could be pointing towards like a processing of trauma from the past, like kind of crying it out. But I know that a lot of you guys, you're like, I've already done it all. I've already processed all of my trauma. but that could be a block for some people where there's just still some stuff left that needs to be released. I keep seeing a bird, so that's very interesting. It's like a bird kind of like flying up from the ground. And this could be pointing to that, like a spiritual process, like because we are here in time, like the spiritual process does also take time. It's not something that just happens right away. And if you have followed kind of some of like the color decodings I've done, it's like the white kind of the white on top of the head is like the final stop of that like Harrogamos. Sorry, I don't know how to say it, but that's like the final kind of stop of that spiritual process, and that's usually represented by a bird or a dove. I also got that some of you guys could kind of be a bit frozen. So you may not realize this, but you are frozen by your like trauma in the past, and this kind of frozen state, it is something that's technically blocking you because you might want to do something, you might have like inspiration to do something, but your body is like stopping you. So yeah, that could be one factor. There's also this idea of taking responsibility for yourself. So I saw like a bunch of little kids in a classroom, and kind of being like, when you're a child, like you want to like listen to others on what to do, and you kind of have this innocent perspective on the world. But some of you might be kind of stuck, honestly, in this childlike state, like what I'm saying with like the trauma from the past kind of keeping you stuck. And like your challenge now might be to take more responsibility for yourself. So like being your own teacher, like not being so easily kind of swayed by what people say, not always looking outside of yourself for like a teacher, blah, blah, blah. Like you need to start becoming your own teacher and like becoming like a full-blown adult, basically, and not being a victim. So taking just more responsibility for yourself, like doing what a parent should be doing, basically, if you were a kid. So just making sure you're really taking care of yourself, taking responsibility, fully kind of acting in an empowered way, basically. Again, I see the dove. I see the dove again. And like, yeah, like this white bird. So this could also be just pointing to the particular soul group that you're in. So it just could be that it's like not your turn yet, like for your, like this soul group that I'm talking to. So you may be part of the White Bird Collective. You might be one of the White Swans, which is also connected to the White Angels. And I keep getting this kind of time thing where, like, we're kind of playing out like a story here, and it's just kind of like, it is frustrating, but we just have to remember that things actually take time to materialize. Okay, so I'm gonna ask like how, like what we could do to really kind of manifest it and not have to wait through time. Like, what can we do, you know? Okay. Be in the heart. So, yes, of course, this is very important. I think alignment, whenever I'm very aligned in my body, like that is seriously when I meet soulmates, basically, who like this, just the craziest synchronicities will happen. I'll sometimes get like actual clearings, and I will be like forever changed by these like soulmates that I meet, these very high level spiritual soulmates. But yeah, being aligned in the heart space, like it kind of draws these people to you. So, but I kind of want to know like how to find like the one, you know, like the forever, like the how you see like all your friends around you, like finding their true forever soulmates. I see someone walking around outside, and this is kind of telling me that you have to kind of like put yourself into the public sphere. I know that for a lot of highly spiritual people who are on this journey, we're very sensitive and we kind of hate being kind of like mixing ourselves into like just like the outside world pretty much. But if this is something that you want for your life and you don't want to be like a witch in a cabin, then you do need to like put yourself out into the world and in kind of like I said, like a public sphere. And if you're not doing that, that's probably like the most number one like basic thing that you can do. It's just like being out. I am getting that a lot of the people who is in this group right now who like this reading is targeted for, like we are very connected to water. So if you are part of like, if you have like the mermaid energy to you, and also like the swan energy to you, this could be like you may be part of this group who's like waiting in our towers pretty much. And that was also a Mary Magdalene reference. I seriously just keep seeing like a woman in the water crying like really hard. What's that mean? I am kind of getting that this very strong emotion, like this crying, is something that can actually throw you off on this journey. It's like something will happen, and because like we are very emotional, we're very like we feel very, very deeply, we're very sensitive. That we like these kind of strong emotions of ours will throw us off, and it's almost like it's I don't know, coming from somewhere else. It's like it's like a collective kind of sadness that you sometimes feel. It's like you have like this very deep sadness, and like it's almost like you'll like lose all hope, and it's like this, but this is connected to something else happening in like a higher realm, and this is like could be something that happened like far, far, far in the past of like your soul's history. So yeah, just keep that in mind, because that could cause you to like turn away to certain opportunities that could push you forward in this journey. I also keep seeing scissors snipping. And that kind of is pointing to like cutting things out of your life, cleaning house. Like this goes back to the taking responsibility for yourself. So for example, like look at your life, and is your life set up well, and like is it welcoming to a forever soulmate relationship, like, or are you living kind of in a chaotic way, and are you like taking on things and doing things that actually, I don't know, don't benefit you? So like really think about that. And a lot of people will, I just hear people all the time saying like, you have to like cut people out of your life, cut this out of your life. I'm just like, so like, yes, but use like your intuition more with it, instead of like really, yeah, instead of just like cutting everything out of your life. You'll know like moment to moment when it's time to cut something out, and it'll feel really good when you do it. So yeah, just think about that. I also heard shame. So I like talk about shame a lot. Like when there's like, I find that our society is it's very easy for us to feel shame just because of how everything is set up. And you have to be aware that you're like the type of person you are, like being more sensitive, being more empathic. You can feel energy very easily. You also are able to feel shame more than others. And this, like when you look at people who, like they seem like horrible people, honestly, but they, like for some reason, they're in like a like this forever, like soulmate type relationship. And it's because it could be because they don't hate themselves. They don't have shame about who they are at like a base level. Even though like they're not like nice people, but nice isn't necessarily going to get you like your manifestation or what you want. So as we can see, like bad people manifest like tons of money and like all kinds of stuff. So yeah, just being aware that because you're sensitive, you also will tend to feel more shame than others. You feel bad about stuff that you do more easily than others do. Like other people, they'll just do something and they won't even think about it and won't even care. So yeah, that can be another factor. This might be like really, really long. Wait. Whatever, I'll just keep going till I feel like it's done. I'm just like asking a question right now and I'm being kind of like, come on, like, is this some kind of joke? Like, is it a joke that we're just waiting so long for this to happen? Okay, so I am asking, why is it that like some people have such like a difficult journey and they have to wait so long, and then you see other people who are uniting with their soulmates at a younger age, or like it just seems a bit more easy for them. And I kind of got that the soulmate that you will be eventually uniting with is very high. Like it's very high level. This could have to do with the rays. So like the different color rays, which are like the different rays of the sun. So like you're part of the ray. You're part of a certain ray. And if this soulmate is like high level, you have to also be high level to link up with them. So the people that you're like looking around and like comparing to, they're just on like a different program actually than you. So I'm kind of asking in my mind, so how do we become high level? Like, how do we become high level? And I see a pearl. And to me, pearl symbolizes like this like deep sea, like deep waters, like kind of going honestly like deep into the spirit world and deep into the womb. So that could be part of becoming high level as like a woman, like as a spiritual woman. You guys know, like I talk about the womb quite a bit, so you can either go on my blog or go on Twitter and just search womb. And just really exploring that, like going deep, going like very, very deep into yourself. I also see red roses. And yeah, the red just made me think of like the root, which makes me think of the womb. as well. I'm going to ask for some like very specific advice now. I do see for some of you, your soulmate connection is more about like a larger, it's for like the benefit of a larger group, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like everyone needs to kind of like reach their like some sort of point in their development before it can happen for you, because you're connected to this large group. So yeah, which okay, that's like why I was getting so much about like it's like a time thing, you know. I am seeing the pearls again. I'm seeing like a pearl necklace actually. So yeah, that's very much like, yeah, like that deep womb, like kind of connecting to the spirit world through the womb space. And like becoming whole as a woman, like by doing that, you know, like by like getting to know that energy basically. And yeah, a lot of you guys will be uniting with like a literal king, okay? Like that's what I see. I see like a queen and a king together. So just like recognizing that, like, okay, if he is a king, then are you really a queen right now? Are you really acting like one? Are you really, because you guys are, you just don't. Because like we're like on this material plane, you just don't understand that you are. And it's really going to be like a inner kind of knowingness that you are like this, like technically this society, like it's not really, it doesn't treat us well, like let's just be honest, on so many levels. So it's like a radical thing to not fall for the like the brainwashing of like how they like try to brainwash us, make us think that we're not good enough. That could also mean that you're just being more strict with yourself with the kind of stuff that you consume, because that's like, that can kind of put subconscious thoughts in your head. So yeah, thinking about that. And it is just, wow, yeah. That's kind of exciting. If this is going to be like a king and queen connection, pretty cool. The person, like the soulmate that you should be uniting with, is going to be very high level spiritually, like I already said. So you need to bring that, like that level, that like high level, like that, bring all of that energy, all of that light that you are in the higher planes. You have to like try to bring it, like make it real, like on this level. Okay, I think that might be it for this. Hopefully this helps. It honestly really helps me as well, because I feel like I'm in this situation. So, yeah. If you want a more personal reading on any sort of topic at all. I also do energy readings where I go into kind of your soul's history, your higher forms, what we call starseed origins. I can also go into your elemental types and things like that. Basically, all of the avatars that you're occupying on a higher plane. And that alone can tell you so much about your own soul's history and why you might be experiencing things you're experiencing right now. Anyways, so yeah, this was really cool. Let me know what you think about this and if it resonated, and I will talk to you soon.